This video is for section 9.5 in the regular algebra book, but it's 8.5 in the iPad algebra book. iPad students, we will not be solving these equations, but the regular students have, so things might be just slightly different. Remember that factors are numbers or variables. When I say things, numbers or variables that can be multiplied to get the original product. Such as the number 24 has factors 4, 6, 3, 8, and you could probably think of a few others because, for example, 4 times 6 is 24, so 4 and 6 are both called factors. X squared and x are factors of x to the third because when we multiply x squared and x, we get the product x to the third. Now, the one thing we've done with polynomials is we've multiplied two binomials, for example, to get a trinomial. But we really need for you to be able to go back and forth for when we solve and graph the polynomials. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take the x to the third plus 7x plus 12, and we're going to be able to go backwards and figure out what was originally in those parentheses. These are called the factors of that polynomial. And eventually we'll be able to take those factors and we'll solve equations with them, and then we'll also graph. This is called a factorization of that polynomial. I want you to notice where the 3 and 4 might have come from. If you add 3 and 4, you get 7. If you multiply 3 and 4, you get 12. And you'll notice that 7 is in the x term and 12 is the constant term. So we're going to keep that pattern up. Whatever we multiply by, that will give us the constant term. And whatever we add together, that will give us the x term. So if you look at this box here, if you see the c is your constant, that's p times q in the parentheses, here p and q. B is that middle term, the x term, that's actually going to be p plus q. Let's take a look at our first example. So again, our job is to figure out what was in the original parentheses. Well, first, we know that we must have multiplied two x's together to get x squared. 1x times 1x is x squared. Our next job is to figure out what were the two numbers in the parentheses. Look at this box. The factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, and 4 and 5. Those are our choices. When we add these factors, we're going to get 21. 2 and 10 would give us 12, and 4 and 5 would give us 9. So you'll notice the x term has a 9, and so we want the factors 4 and 5. So x plus 4 and x plus 5. Again, how we found those, 4 times 5 gives us the constant term 20. 4 plus 5 gives us the middle term 9. So our solution, or our factorization, is parentheses x plus 4, x plus 5. Now, we could write these backwards. Because of the commutative property, we can multiply backwards. And so that would be okay as well. We can double check our work by multiplying. Let's just multiply these two. We get x squared plus x to the, plus 5x plus 4x plus 20. And we can combine the middle terms to get 9x. And so we know we're correct. Next, if we look at example 2, if you want to, go ahead and pause the video and then you can try to find your own factors. The first ones I think of are 4 and 6. When we add those, though, we get 10. So we know we're not right. We need 11. So maybe the next thing I might try is 2 and 12. 2 times 12 is 24, but when we add those, we get 14. Another one, 3 and 8, multiply to give us 24, and when we add those, we do get 11. So we want our parentheses to say x times x would give us x squared plus 3 and plus 8. And let's just double check that one time. We'd get x squared plus 8x plus 3x plus 24. Add the middle terms, and we get 11x in the middle. So we know we did it correctly. But your final answer is what is in those parentheses. I'll go ahead and stop now. You can do the checkpoints, and we will double check them tomorrow in class and move on from there.